This might look like overkill for such a small camera, but this build turns this hidden gem of a camera into a pretty great talking head and B-roll powerhouse. So at the core of this is the Sony RX100 Mark VII, and it was released in 2019, and in my opinion, it's one of the best, smallest cameras that Sony has ever created. This is a really small camera. It's designed to be a pocketable point-and-shoot camera, but it has almost all of the features that I want. It's got a flip selfie screen before selfie screens were cool. It's got a flip out flash. Somehow it has an eyepiece that pops out of it, and the lens is a 24 to 200 millimeter equivalent. That is crazy. And it has a mic jack built into it, which for a lot of the point and shoot cameras at the time, this just wasn't a thing. There's some pretty great specs inside this camera, and with a couple tweaks on the outside, we can upgrade how we use this camera for videos. As a heads up, none of this is sponsored. I've just been thinking about this camera a lot, and I think it could be your talking head setup camera with occasional B-roll. I own and use a bunch of normal size DSLR cameras, but I'm really interested in smaller cameras and how you can push them and get the most out of them. So let's jump into it. Let me show you the exact tools I used to make this build. So at the core of this, we got the camera, the Sony RX100 Mark VII. It's really tiny, you can pop it in your back pocket, but there's not really a grip on it and there's no mounting points to build this thing out. So from my understanding, there isn't a lot of options for cages for this camera. There's essentially just a extension grip that you can put along the bottom, which doesn't actually add many mounting points, or there's this cage from SmallRig. It adds mounting points on every side of the camera, and importantly, a cold shoe mount, because there's no hot shoe or cold shoe mount on this camera right now. It also gives the camera a grip, which is great if you're taking photos. We probably won't really need that for what we're building out today. And I'm not a really big fan of the wood texture on here, maybe you are, but I couldn't find any other options. This was kind of it for the cage. So power is the first thing we need to tackle with this build. The batteries for the RX100 series are quite small and they don't hold much power. The first thing I looked for was a dummy battery. It's essentially a battery that has a cord sticking out of it that you plug into power. And with these, you can continually keep the power flowing to a camera. I couldn't find one of these, so the next best thing was this piece that I've actually never heard of, again, from SmallRig. This essentially lets you mount a power bank to your camera. So it mounts to the bottom of your camera, and conveniently, this bottom piece is actually a Arca Swiss plate. That's just a common mount that fits on most tripods. So this is pretty great because I don't need to get a tripod plate, it's built into this piece. It then extends out to the back where the battery pack is held. What's quite handy is that it's on a hinge. So when you want to look at the screen, you just move this piece out of the way, flip the screen, move it back in. In terms of power, it's not the easiest to find a battery bank that has a lot of juice in it in a small size. I found this one from Inu, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but it pretty much met all of the specs that I was looking for. Except for one, but we'll talk about that in a sec. This is a small 45 watt battery and it's quite small and it fits in the palm of your hand. It comes with a wrist strap that actually doubles as a power cord, so you've always got a power cord with you. But in our case, this is just gonna get in the way, so unfortunately I had to remove it. I was hoping the battery bank could fit vertically in this clamp. Unfortunately, my measurements were a little bit off and it was just a touch too small. I just flipped this thing horizontally and it worked just as well. I also wadded up some gaff tape and wedged it in between, and that did let me mount this vertically. Maybe you can find a better battery bank, but this was the best I could find. Actually, no, I did also try using a MagSafe power bank. So this is a really slim one from the brand called Torres. It has a USB-C port in, but it also works as a USB-C port out. By the way, sorry if this B-roll is a little out of order. So to connect the power to the camera, you need a USB-C cable to micro USB. It's one of those old ports that we don't really use anymore. To try and keep the cords and stuff out of the way and stuff, I found this 90-degree kinked angle cord, and this one worked really, really well. By the way, I'll link everything that I found in the description below. These are affiliate links, so if you click on them, I get a little kickback. It costs you absolutely nothing. But yeah, if you want to see what the pieces were that I used to build this, check those out. Okay, so we can mount this camera, we've got power. The next thing is the optics. In the previous versions of these cameras, there was actually a built-in ND filter. However, with this new lens that they put in the Mark VII, the 24 to 200 millimeter, space was pretty tight inside, and from what I understand, they had to get rid of the ND filter. For us, this isn't the most ideal because we're probably not maximizing the entire focal range. We're probably just shooting this mostly on the wider angle of the camera, probably like 24 to 50 range. But we still need an ND filter to get the most cinematic motion blur and looking videos. So poking around on the internet, I found this adhesive JJC filter adapter. You just stick this thing on the front of your lens and you have the ability to attach any type of filter. The filter thread size on this is 52. It's not the most common filter size, and actually I don't have any NDs or filters this small, except for filters that are on my Fuji X100 camera, which are 49 millimeters. So in this case, I actually just used a step down ring from a 52 to 49 millimeter filter, and I was able to put the filters that I have onto the camera. In this case, the Short Stash Everyday filter. You're also welcome to put larger filters on this. You could use step up rings, but it's just gonna make your setup a little bit larger. Ideally, you've got a 52 millimeter filter. The built-in microphones on this camera are not horrible, but ideally we want the best audio that we can get from this camera. This camera has a built-in mic jack, and most cameras of this size and this era don't have that, so let's take advantage of it. Because this is a 24mm lens on the RX100 Mark VII, you're gonna have to be about a couple feet away from your camera if you're shooting yourself. So you need the microphone as close to you as possible. So my first thought was, let's use wireless mics like the DJI mics that I'm using right now. That way, no matter how far away from the camera I am, we can still get great audio. The issue I ran into is when I put the receiver onto this cold shoe mount, it just slipped through. I need a way for whatever I'm attaching to this cold shoe to grip onto the mount, and so it doesn't just slip through. So SmallRig came through again, and they've got this really small shotgun mic that you can attach to the top of the camera. This mic is directional, so if I'm facing the mic and the mic is facing me, we're gonna get much better audio than the built-in audio just on the camera. This mic also has the option for a pass-through, so you could attach a lavalier or wireless mics if you want to. This rig is nearly complete. The last thing to do is add some support so this camera doesn't fall over or we're not relying on holding it. I searched high and wide for the smallest tripod that I could find, and I found this one from Ulanzi. This tripod is real small and it can extend if you need some extra height or some reach. Out of the box, this has a 1/4-20 mount, and this'll work, but ideally I'm looking for a way to switch between horizontal and vertical video really quickly. Thanks to our SmallRig cage, we already have an Arca Swiss plate on the bottom of this camera, so I got a different Arca Swiss plate and added it to the side. To attach these to the tripod, I got a Arca Swiss mount. This attached to the 1/4-20 mount, and now I could quickly switch between vertical and horizontal video. So there we go. There's the completed rig that I personally think is pretty great for talking head setups and the occasional B-roll. It's fairly light and you could still use this for handheld setups. You could even probably strap this onto a gimbal or strip everything off pretty quickly and use it in a pretty stealthy way. What I love about this camera is that it's geared towards beginners, but really you can use it in a professional manner and get some pretty incredible shots from it. This camera is awesome, we love it, but honestly, there are a couple downsides to this camera, and I think it's only fair to mention them. First off, the stabilization in this camera is pretty poor. It's almost non-existent. And honestly, that's why we're putting this on a tripod, because using this walking around, you're not gonna get the best footage, so something to just keep in mind. This camera does have S-Log. However, it only has S-Log 2, not the great S-Log 3 on all of the newer Sony cameras. There's nothing wrong with this S-Log, it's just a little trickier to work with. The colors can be a little funky in situations. The same goes for 8-bit versus 10-bit. Like almost all of the newer cameras have 10-bit color built into them. You guessed it, this camera has 8-bit. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just a limitation. As well, there is no dual ISO on this camera. So the brighter you're seeing, the better the footage is gonna look. The same goes when you're shooting photos. Like this camera starts to break down the darker it gets. So you might just be saying, like, why don't you just get an FX3 or an FX30? Great question. Personally, I already had this camera. I love how small and pocketable it is. It's just wild to me that you can get a 24 to 200mm lens in this camera with an eyepiece, with a flip screen. And yeah, they've kind of like updated this line of camera to those ZV-E cameras, but typically those are bigger and some of them even need external lenses. This one is just super small and it meets the needs that I have. I had this idea from some of the videos that I've seen from Caleb from DSLR Video Shooter, so thank you for the inspiration there. Thanks for making it this far in the video. Again, check out the links to see how I built this camera. And do you think this is just overkill and silly? Should I have just got a bigger camera, or is this kind of a dream build? Anyways, my name's Davey. Thanks for letting me spill the gravy, and we'll see you in the next one.